Today, we are going to talk about pricing. Specifically, should you publish your prices? This episode of Ask Joe is brought to you by the 10x Freelance Copywriter. In the private community for the 10x Freelance Copywriter, we answer questions like this all the time. Today's question comes to us from Andrew. Andrew asks, is it a bad idea to start putting prices on your website? I want to give potential customers a minimum, but I worry that the price will create a low anchor. Very good question, good problem. So the answer that I gave Andrew is the answer I'd continue to give him now. I'm going to share it with you. I told Andrew, if you read They Ask You Answer, which by the way is a great book, go get it. You'll see that the content that performed best for Sheridan, who's the writer of that book, early on was the stuff that prospects were wondering about, but nobody was putting on their site. So in this case, it was pricing. He just started writing blog posts about how they price different pools, etc., and it worked. So the takeaway is if they don't have a reason not to, or if you don't have a reason not to publish pricing, and it could give you an advantage, at least try doing it. So the idea here is that you use your public pricing in a way that doesn't anchor you low. So be careful about that. But you could write an entire post, like a really great, well-researched post on how much you pay copywriters. What does it cost for a freelance copywriter to do X, Y, or Z? You could come up with an incredible, it doesn't have to be really long. As soon as I say incredible or research, people think it's like 5,000 words later. I'm talking like 800 words later where it's really optimized for search so that people who are searching, how much does it cost to hire a freelance copywriter rates, how expensive is a freelance copywriter, are there cheap freelance copywriters, whatever questions there may be out there, and you should do that research to find out what the right keywords are, and maybe write multiple articles on this so that you own freelance copywriter pricing, or whatever your thing is, freelance messaging consultant or messaging consultant pricing or marketing consultant pricing or fractional CMO pricing or whatever that thing might be that you are doing. You can own that keyword phrase. I don't own it. I might go write some blog posts on it right now. But the idea here is that people who are looking for what things cost are way closer to the point of purchase in most cases. That doesn't mean that's always the case. I could be like 14 years old Joe looking up, even though we didn't really have Google when I was 14, but looking with dial-up, looking up, I'm just thinking of time passing. Looking up, if I have 14-year-old me looking up, what does a Louis Vuitton bag cost? That's just pure curiosity. I'm like, when I'm 40, how much money will I need to have to buy a Louis Vuitton bag, let's say? So that doesn't mean that I'm ready to buy it when I'm looking up that price. But a lot of times you can at least make a good assumption that somebody who's looking at freelance copywriter rates, I mean, they might be a freelance copywriter wondering, what should I charge? Or they might actually be somebody who is looking to hire a freelance copywriter. So make sure you're checking out what those keyword phrases are. But when you're writing for that person, you are more likely to actually attract people who are closer to the point of conversion, which is really good for leads. They might have a real problem on their hands. They might not have hired a freelancer before. They're looking for somebody just like you. So it's not a bad idea to start putting prices on your website. If you're worried that you're going to anchor people high or low, that is a valid concern. And I would say go out not by stating here is my absolute price, but by saying here's an estimate. So if I were to do a blog post on copywriter rates or what you should pay a freelance copywriter, I might have different parts in there like website redesign or website overhaul. Then I'd have an estimate. So from $10,000 to $25,000. And then I would explain underneath that why that range exists and how that works and what I can expect in every project that makes $10,000 the minimum. So I'm doing a really good job of educating my lead in that case, but you can do an estimate so that you're not anchoring people in a weird way. Thanks for watching. If you've got a question for a future Ask Joe, be sure to leave it in the comments. And if you would like to dive deeper into anything we covered today, head over to copyhackers.com or look for the links in the description. And of course, be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you never miss another Ask Joe.